Hi everyone, welcome back to my channel. Recently me and my wife got to travel to New York for the weekend, and I wanted to show some footage from the first day there. In the morning we got to walk up Central Park, and then we visited the New York Historical Society, and we also got to see a Vivian Maier's exhibit in New York in the evening. Afterwards I'm going to do a little haul of the things I bought during the day, so let's get started. We arrived late on Friday to New York, and before we settled in I wanted to do a little room tour of our hotel room. We stayed at the Thompson Central Park, which is located on 56th Street and a couple blocks from Central Park. The room was pretty nice. It came with all the amenities you would expect in a hotel. It was also pretty big for a New York hotel room. We've stayed in New York before, and this room was much bigger than the last one we stayed in. The room itself had a pretty modern city vibe to it. The room had a couch, and it also had this little coffee nook in there for tea and drink in the morning. The bathroom was also pretty nice. It had a shower tub combination and also came with robes for you to wear during your stay. The view from the room was pretty nice. We stayed on the 21st floor and we had a view of the buildings next door. On our first day there, we walked over to Columbus Circle to pick up some bagels for breakfast, and then we walked over to Central Park and hung out for a little bit. Once we were finished eating breakfast, we started our walk up towards the New York Historical Society through Central Park. It was fun seeing everybody running in the park that day. There was a lot of people running, a lot of different running groups also in the park. On our way up to the New York Historical Society, we passed the Tavern on the Green restaurant, which looked really interesting. They had a little quick service area outside where you could pick up food and beverages. We had just eaten, so we didn't stop there, but I'd like to stop there in the future. Also on that day, they were having a free concert in the park, so there was a lot of people lined up outside waiting to get in. It was also raining that day, so those people also were wearing ponchos and things like that. On our way up to the New York Historical Society, we saw this plaque on the street. It was really interesting. It was marking the first place where there was a car fatality ever in America, which was pretty fitting for the exhibit we were going to see at the New York Historical Society. So we came to the New York Historical Society to see an exhibition about the power broker. If you're not familiar with the power broker, it's about Robert Moses. He was construction coordinator in New York City around the early 20th century. He was responsible for building a lot of the expressways, roadways, and bridges coming in and out of the city. He was also responsible for building Jones Beach and other different types of public works around New York State. The book goes through his early life and investigates how he was able to gain so much power in New York City and hold on to it for such a long time, and also the eventual loss of that power in the city. The exhibit also goes through Robert Caro's early career as an investigative reporter and also his research process when writing The Power Broker and his other book about Lyndon Johnson. They had some of his notes on display, and I really enjoyed seeing all of those. After I was done checking out the exhibit, I went to go see the gift shop in the museum. They had a lot of cool, interesting things, and I picked up a couple things that I'll show you at the end of the video. In the evening, me and my wife went to a photography exhibit at Fotografiska New York. We went to see an exhibit by Vivian Maier, who was an American street photographer. Her work primarily consisted of candid shots of people and places in the 50s and 60s in Chicago and New York. hope you enjoyed watching the first part of our New York trip. Before I closed out the video, I wanted to go through some of the things I bought at the New York Historical Society. First thing I got were these Keith Harrington New York stickers. I thought they looked really cool, so I'm probably going to use them in my journal. The next thing I got was this Art Deco map of New York City. I really like the look of this. I'm going to probably hang it on my wall in my office. And the last thing I got was this book by Robert Caro. It's called Working. It pretty much describes his working process he goes through when he does the research for all his books. I really enjoyed that exhibition that was there at the New York Historical Society, so I thought I'd read up on, get a little bit more information about his research process. I'm really looking forward to reading this book. So that's it for my haul. Thank you for watching, and until next time.